Hi guys, I haven't been on here in a few weeks. Um, Today's March 13th, and I'm going to be making a couple videos, and they're pretty important. I've noticed that a lot of people have been feeling, discouraged. They're tired of waiting. They feel like everything's kind of back in a normal range. 16 states lifted the mandate for masks. My state is not one of them, and that is a-okay. There's been a lot of my friends that I've been dealing with that I never thought in a million years would act the way that they have been, saying the things that they've said, or kind of fallen off the wagon. Everybody I used to talk to, it's like we're distant. Everyone's so silent, and that's something that I've been noticing. It's like the calm before the storm. Okay, so I have been led to quite a few things, and tomorrow is a major day that a lot of people have been saying / Monday, that it's the head of the new year. And that everyone's talking about the rapture. I don't know the day or hour. I know we are extremely close. I know that, I'm not looking towards dates. I don't have that excitement. I have the enjoyment that I have of taking it one step at a time, knowing that I'm living and breathing in this very moment. And Jesus, stepped away into the wilderness to spend time with his Father for 40 days and nights. And so I've been taking this time to do what I need to do. And it's kind of crazy because I've asked God for things, and he says, ask and you shall receive. Knock and the door will be open unto you. About the situation that I'm in, I'm opening a store. And I know with the end times and things going on, it's like, what? Why? Well, let me tell you. God puts people in our lives, sometimes for a month, sometimes for a few years, sometimes your whole lifetime. But no matter what, there is a reason that person is in your life, or there is a reason that person gets taken out. There is a reason for you listening to this video this very moment. And my whole goal is to bring as many people to Christ as I can, as well as giving them the best deal. This past week, I have been so busy encountering many different people, from knowing the situation to spreading rumors and lies about me, to putting me down, to being on my side. But I've always made it a point to the customers to bring God in and let them know, if it wasn't for God, things couldn't go the way that they have been. If God is for us, who can be against us? And so therefore, God doesn't want us to put our life on hold. He still wants us to continue watching and waiting and being a watchman on the wall, but he also wants us to take time to enjoy your family, to enjoy your time. Because even though the moments that we are here, knowing we could leave at any time, you still need to continue pursuing, because you never know that one person within that step. Say you're trying to rebuild a house, or you're trying to get a financial loan, and or a car, and you're like, Jesus is about to return tomorrow. What's the point? Instead, get out there, knowing you're a watchman, and be like, I'm gonna go. So it's like when you're like, you're getting a loan or whatever, and you're trying to hold off on doing things so you can watch. Okay, one, that puts stress on you. Two, that burdens other people. You can push people away, okay, instead of bringing them to Christ. So instead of being so focused and wrapped up on going home, our focus in ministry should be on winning a person to Christ. So you're going to the bank, witness to a person there. God might have that bank loan available to you that you're sitting there putting off on hold, trying to wait on something when God's like, this is not, you're so wrapped up with me that you don't see the blessings he's giving in front of you. Does that make sense? At the same time as continuing to minister to God's people and bring them in. Now, I am excited. I have been going through a lot, and I've not been, I've been studying and reading and, Bible studies and going to church, my parents' church, and helping out with that, and, raising money for the church and fundraisers and things like that. But I'm like, God, you're silent. And then all this stuff started flooding in. And I'm like, what am I going to tell these people? There's nothing interesting to tell. And, it's not on our timing when we want to present something. It's on God's. So I'm going to read to you something. I had a couple things, which is, I think, beautiful. And remember when we are preparing for stuff, okay, the rapture, the financial collapse, which, by the way, the stimulus check, everybody's been super stoked and excited about. We had to borrow $1.9 trillion, just letting you know everything is going to go up. And though it may seem normal, it's not normal. The New World Order is still in play, and the Mark of the Beast is still in action. And some things that need to be said, by taking safety measures and precautions is not considered panicking. Okay. It's okay to be concerned, and it doesn't mean that we don't trust God. Okay. Because God obviously wants us to prepare. That's why he gives us watchmen to tell you to prepare. All right. So, we have, a friend of mine, John. I'm going to read what he wrote, and then in reference to other things. Okay, why am I excited about the new moon tomorrow? Okay, scriptures suggest a rapture in spring. Song of Solomon's 2:10-13. My beloved spake and said unto me, Rise up, my love, my fair one, and come away. For lo, the winter is past, the rain is over and gone. The flowers appear on the earth. The time of the singing of birds is come, and the voice of the turtle dove is heard in our land. The fig tree putteth forth her green figs, and the vines with the tender grape give a good smell. Arise, my love, my fair one, and come away. The stars, fall as untimely figs. Untimely figs fall in the spring. Unfortunately, we are still in winter in America, but over in Israel now, they're getting in their dry season, and their dry season is considered summer. They don't have 4 seasons we have. They have winter and summer. And then Revelation 6:13 says, And the stars of heaven fell upon the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. Okay, and this represents that the man-child is caught up when the stars fall. Okay. Revelations 12:3-5, And there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered. Okay, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with the rod of iron. And her child was caught up to God and to his throne. And God made 2 seasons, summer and winter, as I was saying, and winter is ending. So is spring actually the beginning of God's summer? Okay, so we have Genesis 8:22 saying, While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Okay, so the first day of the month begins at the sighting of the sliver of the crescent moon. Is this the actual first day of spring, or God's summer, as they say? Okay, they've actually went out into the harvest fields, the barley fields, And this was another thing I wanted to talk about. And they were last year they had a 13th month. They're not adding a 13th month this year. So this means that everything's going according to plan. They've already seen some of the fields that were ready and then others that were not, but they don't like presenting at the first case because the people that go and inspect the barley, they said to speak of it is a representation unto the false Messiah, and they don't want to give out false information, so they wait until it's the right time to say it. And about this timing is the same timing that determines when Passover begins. Okay, and so we're right on cue, actually. All right, and then we have Exodus 12, 1-2, that says, "And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you," which means 5782 instead of 5781, and 120 years, as they've been talking about. And they've also been talking about what is it? They've also been talking about I just lost my train of thought. Can't stand it when I do that. So I'm bypass, scratch what I said. Okay, now Abib is Nisan, the month of Nisan, right? So Passover is kept on the 14th of Nisan, so the 14th day. So 14 days from now would be the 28th. I have mentioned this date many times. Okay, Deuteronomy 16:1. "Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God. For in 1 month of Abib the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night." Nisan is the first month. Nisan is Abib, and it's also called Aviv. Okay, Esther 3:7, "In the first month, that is the first month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus," whatever his name is, "they cast pur, that is the lot before Haman, from day to day, and from month to month, to the 12th month, that is the month Adar." Jesus gives us a clue to know when he is coming. Summer, right? So we have Matthew 24:32, and we've heard this many times. "Now learn a parable of the fig tree." Okay, now this also has a semicolon, as I've mentioned, and a semicolon represents it breaks up two sentences, two parts of it, but they are the same thing. This is just categorizing separate events. Okay, so "when his branch is tender yet, and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh." Okay, he's telling us we need to first learn and understand about the fig tree. So the studying, the fig tree generation, they say from the 1948, the establishment, okay? And in Daniel 9:24 on, 70 years is determined upon my people. And this would be the 73rd year, which would leave a remainder of 7 years to the 80 years of full peak, but being it cut short, for lest the elect shall not survive. Okay, and then we have a trumpet that is blown at the new moon. Okay, Psalms 81:3 says, "Blow up the trumpet in the new moon in the time appointed on our solemn feast." A trumpet is blown when we are caught up or raptured. 1 Thessalonians 4:16-17 says, "For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we be, shall we ever be with the Lord." For those who have said this is the second coming, I want to tell you that's absolutely wrong. This is 100% proof there is a rapture. Okay, and it is at the timing there's going to be a major earthquake that the dead in Christ rise. Okay, now the major earthquake that happened, that when Jesus died on the cross, that got people to believe. And then when he rose from the grave, Okay. He rose. The stone was rolled away. There was an earthquake as well. Okay. And then they rose up out of their graves and walked on the earth. It's what is it in Ezekiel or Isaiah? Okay. And I know people thinking of the valley of the dry bones, but my whole point is how this all coincides around the same timing as I was saying about September 23rd, 2017 sign. Okay. So Jesus comes like lightning, and my nose is bleeding and I don't know why. Jesus comes like lightning. Lightning begins in spring, okay? Because we know it's the rainy season and things like that. So Matthew 24:27, for as lightning cometh out of the east and shineth even unto the west, so shall be the coming of the Son of Man be. Now, this is the thing. If you're reading about all this, as I have said, about this is the beginning of sorrows, the ending, the first 3.5 years, okay, from the Revelation 12 sign, which ended March 5th. Okay, if you add 30 days to that, okay, 30 days from March 5th is April 5th. Okay, what's so great about that? I don't know what the heck, I'm bleeding. March 5th, we have it's the ending of Passover, or April 5th. That's Easter as we celebrate it, okay? March 28th, okay? Okay, so sorry, that's the 1290 day mark from March 5th. Sorry, scratch what I said. Hold on. 1260 days from the Revelation 12 sign on September 23rd, 2017 is March 5th of 2021. And we just recently seen that. So the 1290 day mark is April 5th, which is the ending of Passover and or the beginning of our Easter, as they call it. So March 15th, 14th, 15th, tomorrow is what? That is the new year, the beginning of the new year, the new month, which we celebrate ours in January. They celebrate theirs because of the moons, the cycles. Okay, so that is the Jewish New Year, the official year, and they're saying that it is the 50-year jubilee. Okay, and then tonight, listen to this, we spring forward an hour, kind of like springing up out of the grave. Okay, but now you take March 28th, okay, from the March 28th. Oh, that's the 14th of Nisan, okay, which is Passover. And it's also the 40th day, as I have said, from the planet X or whatever that they've been saying that we would be able to spot with the naked eye, and when the casting down of Satan and all that. Now, like I've said, this is speculation. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm presenting what's been presented to me through the Holy Spirit, okay? And then from March 28th to April 5th was Passover. Now, if you take that from 1,335 days from the Revelation 12 sign, that leads you to May 20th of 2021. Backtracking, okay, from Nisan, okay, the first day, March 14th, to actual spring our time is exactly 1 week. And then 1 week from that exact is Passover. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Noah was in the ark for 1 week prior to the floods coming. I do not know the day or hour. Okay, it's speculation. Just trying to keep you encouraged. Okay, so now we know that Jesus now comes as latter rains first and then the spring rains, right? So we have Hosea 6:3 that says, then shall we know if we follow on to know the Lord. His going forth is prepared as the morning, and he shall come unto us as the rain, as the latter and former rain upon the earth. How amazing is that? That's just absolutely phenomenal. Okay? So, just be watchful, be waiting, and I'm going to do my other video, and then we will continue talking.